Del, you're muted. All right, I'll do it. Welcome to Roleplay Cafe. This is John. Del is muted, so I'm doing the intro.
Yeah, I did an
Uh, we're
awesome intro
we're
too.
we're playing Aliens again. Um, we have a full crew of Del, Dune, and Todd, and we have figured out what Todd was doing or actually what his character Kip was doing while he was gone. Uh, so Todd, you were saying that Kip was going to be doing something with the black box. You wanted to get it disconnected and start
Disconnected,
researching it, right?
disabled, and also see if I can determine its origins.
All right. So we're going to say that this was taking place over the basically all of the events of the previous session, while the shooting and negotiations and transfer of information to the science team of the Ilyanla was taking place. Um, Kip was, I guess, was he outside while this fighter was shooting?
Yeah, let's make that interesting. Yeah, let's do it.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right. So you have a really good view of this thing. You know that you feel the vibrations traveling through the Ilyanla into the Solovetsky Island this as it's shooting.
hmm
Uh, but this thing is really agile and is kind of, doing loops and circling this thing, the Ilyanla, and but it seems too small to actually be doing any significant damage. So you're not entirely sure um, what its purpose is because it's not going to destroy the ship by any means.
Right.
I will re-stipulate that you have never seen any ship design like this before. It is very sleek, uh, and it certainly can only hold one person inside of it.
Right.
And it, uh, you can imagine that it has faster than light travel because it doesn't have the engines that are traditional in all the ships that you have seen in your lifetime. So
Okay.
it must have, if it's going to travel long distances, it has to have some other ship somewhere else that
Some
it
other
can dock
mothership.
inside of
Yeah.
to travel long distances.
Right.
So the analogy here is it's a TIE fighter, and it needs some sort of star destroyer or something to be coming
Yeah.
out of
Or
in order to
Cylon.
travel
There's a
really far.
Cylon there. Cylon base ship.
There you go. There you go.
Is it Cylon?
All right. What's that?
Is it Cylon?
It is not Thailand. No.
It's definitely
Uh,
silent.
That would be a good mix, though. Good mashup. Battlestar Galactica / Aliens. Yep.
that's right.
All right.
David is
Okay.
Cylon.
All
So
right.
So I've seen this. I definitely don't know what type of ship it is, but as you said, I figure that there's got to be a base ship or a mothership around somewhere supporting it.
Yes.
Okay. And can I relay that to my companions inside? Do they already know this? Did they figure that out themselves, or am I getting a
Um,
really close look at this thing?
I mean, you're only seeing this in like brief periods of time as it's circling around the ship,
Right.
and when it makes it past uh, near the Solovetsky Island, you see it for maybe 10 to 15 seconds as it
Mhm.
disappears again.
I
Uh,
think we would have had him on comms, right?
If I
Because we were
well,
talking to
so
the main ship.
yeah. So I'm going to say you can convey this information to everybody, but because they were in direct contact with the bridge and there was active conversations going on between
Mhm.
everybody, that you can't really have a discussion about this until you get back inside and
Right.
see them and see
Okay.
them in
if I
person or the time has passed.
And I do I feel like I'm in any danger from the weapons
No,
fire of this thing?
no, it seems to be completely disregarding your ship specifically and is firing, hundreds of yards away from you on towards the front edge of the Philadelphia. I mean, of the Ilyana.
If I remember correctly, I think that we had visual contact, or we could see the ship passing by occasionally from the bridge.
Yeah, from the bridge. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So while we're talking to the Ilyana about what to do with the mutineers and what to do about this fighter ship or whatever this is, we have brief glimpses, which should be enough for us to assume that it's not an FTL ship, I think.
Yes. I would say that most of, or actually all of you, are at least well versed enough and went through basic introductions to how all of these ships work. But Kip is more intimately familiar with these things,
Kip's
having worked on them, the engines themselves, and that sort of thing. So Todd, I mean, Kip, I'm not going to make you do a roll to just disconnect this thing, since you're already somewhat familiar with it, and you're docked with the ship, so you're not concerned about losing your comm array or anything like that at this point. So,
Right. Okay.
what are you going to do about the device you connected, which I think we were referring to as the Blacker box?
Oh, Blacker box. Okay. Yes, that's right too. So the Blacker box. Is there anything that? Because we were, you got to remind me, we were using that to kind of monitor communications from the black box to wherever. Right. Okay.
Yeah, to see if it was broadcasting additional, like it was broadcasting itself.
Right.
The idea was whether or not it was intercepting what you were broadcasting, or it was itself broadcasting its own thing.
Right. And what did we determine?
You determined that it is not broadcasting its own thing.
It's just
there's no records of anything other than your own transmissions going through or coming out of the black box.
Oh, I had a memory, or I have a memory. I don't know if it's fake. that when since we got back, it was broadcasting, but maybe it's not.
I don't remember ever saying that.
Okay, so it's not. That's
Since
good.
You got back,
it's better that it's not.
The Ilyana?
Yes, I feel like I thought it was like doing something since we got back, but maybe it's not doing anything, which is better. But that's for Windows to know, and we can disregard whatever I remember.
Del, do you have any memory of this?
No.
Okay. Okay. So I might have made it up, but
I'm not saying it didn't happen, but
yeah. I'm going to say, okay, I'll work around this. We'll figure out if that is actually the case.
No, I think it's up to you. I think it's up to you, John.
But there is no active record inside of the Blacker box right now of any broadcasts taking place, in addition to what you have sent normally, through the bridge.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And is there I got a little more time now to look at the black box, and is there any way we can determine, like, is this tech level that's on it, is this unknown to us or to me?
No, I mean, you understand what it's doing. It's not some fascinating technological invention. Like, even the fighter isn't the fighter still functions as you understand fighters to function. It's just that you've never seen that physical design before.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, this, you don't know the exact means of, and purpose of this black box, but I mean, it's not like some super advanced technology you've never seen before. If you disconnect it, take it back to a technician lab and sit down with it, you can probably figure it out in maybe several hours or maybe half a day or something like that.
Okay, then why don't we just disconnect it?
All right.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I'll do that.
So
Take it back in and take it apart so we can find out.
okay. Yeah. So I'm going to say that disconnecting and getting back into the ship, you are informed by Hamada that the situation that's going on and that the infected colonists have been taken off the ship,
Mhm.
and there's only a few people left. Herself and the Marinos who are still in cryosleep.
Oh, okay. They're still. What's going on with that? Why weren't they taken off the
Um,
ship?
I think the idea was that they didn't want them causing problems or with the fighting going on and getting into or maybe getting in the way.
Yeah, I think we wanted to secure the part of the quarantine before we even took them off. You know what I mean? To make sure those
Yeah.
devices were set up, and that and that the security of the Il, I don't know the name of the main ship. The
That's right.
Ilyanda was
Close enough.
wasn't under attack. So that's what we were doing at the end of it was
Yes.
transporting them in the cryospheres through that, to
Right.
the main ship.
Yeah. Yeah. So what I'm saying, Todd, is that the ship hasn't been completely emptied by the time you come in. So they're still in the process of waking them up and getting them through the umbilical cord to be tested and off the ship and onto the colony. So
Okay.
you can either help them along, or if you just want to prioritize something else, you can do that. I'm just kind of
No,
inserting you into the
yeah. No.
timeline here.
Yeah. I'll. I've got the black box, and I'll get to that one once we've got everything secured with our ship.
Okay, so
okay.
so you're just going to assist on getting everybody else off board or off the ship.
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to say that that takes just maybe another hour or so to get them woken up, and you're assisting the Marinos off, and that you can see the excitement in their eyes, having lived down on that broken down colony for so many years.
Yeah.
They are quite excited to see not only well maintained ships but also lots of other people.
Yes. Yes.
As you escort them through the Ilyanla to the drop ship, they they have gleams in their eyes, and uh, Danny's eyes are wandering to every woman close to his age that walks by, uh, and the three of them are very happy to be on this ship. And are you going to stay with them all the way down onto the colony, or are you going to diverge and go off and do something else?
Okay. So where's the rest of where's the others like Yoko?
Dr.
And
Bircher is still
Bircher?
on the Ilyanla. I would say at this time, it's about at the point where he saw this other scientist taking an additional sample, and all you know is Yoko is off the ship and has already gone down onto the mother colony.
Okay. All right. Well then, and do I know about this other sample being taken?
Not right now, you don't.
Oh, okay.
No, I just came out of my hyperventilating closet.
You're still busy taking drugs.
Yeah, yeah, I had to go get my drug and come back, and I played catch up with them. So I went back to their main medical facility,
Mhm.
and that's where I am right now. So
Okay.
Okay,
I'm
so
just keeping my eyes peeled. Yeah,
you reconnected with the scientists and you're continuing work.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
okay, all right.
Okay.
So
I'll then you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna I'll take some time now to look at that black box.
okay, so yeah, you can certainly find a you know, a technician's lab, that has all of the hardware you could possibly need to take this thing down to the circuitry and figure out what it's doing.
Okay.
Uh, and so it sounds like we are. Well, we do need to establish what Yoko is going to do next. We can fast forward time once we figure out what Yoko is doing.
I'm also trying to remember just to refresh my memory. Did we include the black box in our reports?
That is so we have not addressed the report yet.
Okay.
So it sounds like that the report is going to have to be, delivered at some point soon, but it sounds like the governor is probably preoccupied. Um, so you can probably buy yourself some time to, determine exactly what you want to include in the report and what, if anything, you want to omit.
Okay, so the reason I was wondering is just in terms of Windows, is Windows like, getting the Alien experts to help, or is Windows just taking it into a little like cubby and
I'm doing it
working
on my
through it?
own.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Because I feel like whether like if we all as a crew knew like, hey, we're telling them everything, then then it could make more sense for you to ask for their help. But if we're all if we're not just telling them everything all the time, then maybe it makes more sense for
Well,
Windows to work alone.
yeah, no, I'm not 100%, trustful of these folks,
I think
So
I'm trying to think of what Yoga would do, but as the Dr. Bircher has been open 100% about the aliens and the samples that we have.
Yes.
Yeah,
That happened
if you
last
would
time.
if you would pass me, I'm eager to share because I'm wanting the other scientists and doctors for all of us to tackle the situation and see if we can
Yeah.
eradicate this, this poison. So it's like my mind is not even. I'm so focused now. I'm not thinking about any secrecy or the black box or the ship.
Yeah, that's
Solely on that.
it's
Yeah.
a that's a cool little duality. Like because the
Mhm.
aliens were threatening, you're like sharing all the information, but we don't know what the black box does, so Windows is keeping it tight.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay.
All right, so we can advance time a little bit and find
Mhm.
out what everybody discovers, but we need to establish
What
what
Yoko's
Yoko's doing before we do that.
Okay, so I've handed off the UPP mutineers to their fate.
Yes.
Um, and then I'm just free to go or do what I want.
Yeah, because I mean, it sounds like Kip and Bircher are going to be tied up with their research into these various, their various findings, which is going to take them some time. So you have some free time on your hands.
Okay, so Yoko's loyalty at present lies fully with the governor, right? Not the
Okay.
General Ozelinski.
All right. Good to
Yoko
know.
has been open about basically believing in the UPP ideals, which align more closely in Yoko's mind currently with the mother colony and its ambitions than it is to Ozelinski, who the only information I have about what the UPP wants was through the mutineers, who said that they were told to take over so that they could control the resources, which is not exactly what Yoko would think is the best course of action. So Yoko's I think what Yoko's interested in is finding out more about the conflict, or like the what's happening on the mother colony in terms of any kind of um, mutiny or resistance, or like UPP force. Like, if there is fighting on the colony, which I imagine there is, where are they? Like, how much do they control, and where are they holed up? Like, all that information. Yoko's interested in finding that out first before making any decisions about where to go.
Okay. And how is Yoko going to go about that exactly?
Well, I'm in a government building, so
Yes.
um, I guess I. Let me look at my character sheet real quick. I really designed the character not to be a face. Like, my 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 stats are like empathy 2, like the worst. um, let's see. No, so I'm gonna act like a face, even though I have poor roles as a face.
Okay.
I'm going to um, talk to whoever's around. So I don't know what the structure is like. I imagine I don't have
So
like the governor doesn't have time to stick with me for all this time, but maybe
right.
um, I don't know. Like, is there like a front desk or like?
Well,
Reception?
the everyone is incredibly busy trying to coordinate information and redeploy troops and that sort of stuff throughout the colony.
Okay, so I will ask the front desk.
If
I'll ask
there's
some lowly secretary or some lowly assistant or
okay,
some whoever's like doing busy work here. I mean, I'm sure everyone's busy with actual things that are valuable, but yeah, I'm gonna ask a low level person like, hey, so how just try like how much the sorry, let's establish who this person is. Who's the low
well, we're
person
not we don't we don't we
who
don't need to we don't need to role play through it.
okay,
I just want to know what your general strategy is, and I'll provide
very
you
good, very good.
some information based off of that.
Okay, so
So you're gonna talk to some underlings that don't seem as busy as everybody else
yes,
in the governor's office.
yes.
Exactly where the activity is. You're gonna are you gonna try to find out like you know group numbers, or are
Well,
you gonna try to find out goals?
so
What?
I want to confirm. So here's the thing. I want to confirm that Ozelinsky is the leader of the resistance and control. Like basically, which I already know that's true, but I was just in the conversation, I'll double check that. And then I want to basically I want to know where the resistance forces are, or like where the
Okay.
UPP forces are, and how much they control. Like, or like where the fighting. Yeah, where's the fighting zone and where's the UPP zone? That's what I want to know.
Okay. All right. So that's going to take a little bit of time. You're going to talk to multiple people and get little bits of information from each individual person and piece all of the stuff together that I'm going to explain to you. Uh, so, why don't we resolve what Dr. Bircher finds? Um, so, Dr. Bircher is, working with these scientists.
Yeah.
Is he going to say anything to maybe the lead scientist about these extra samples that he saw one of them take?
He's gonna put his feelers out. He's um well, I don't know if we want to role play any of this, but I'm definitely wanting to talk and get a gist of who the main scientist is and carry on a dialogue with him or her. I believe you said it was a lady, right?
Yes. And
Yeah.
uh,
And
her
I
name,
did speak with her momentarily, I think, in the other session. But
yes, her name is Alia, and
Alia,
uh,
okay.
she is uh, she's basically uh, the chief science officer on the Ilyanla. She is stationed there. Um, Pretty much, she very rarely goes down onto the mother colony.
Okay. What
She has a rotating series or not employees, but scientists that report to
lab
her.
techs and stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
lab techs, that sort of thing, that come up from the colony to get training in a zero G environment.
Yeah. I mean, she's the one over this. So if you just want to give me information, what I do,
No, we can role play it. That's fine.
okay. Well, I would
Yeah.
reconvene with her after I had my little, calm down from the panic attack,
Okay.
and called up, and I kind of smiled and lift up the antique uh, stethoscope, and then kind of jog up to her and sorry, almost forgot this, kind of an heirloom, and kind of do a little smirk.
Oh, that's
Uh,
quite an
do you have any?
impressive piece.
Thank you. It was my great grandfather's, great great, and then I kind of mumble a little bit and brush it off. But what do you think about all this? May I ask? So what how should we approach this method? And not that
Well,
I'm a, if you need me to be a part of the the team here, I'm more than willing to give my expertise and intimate knowledge with what has gone down so far.
I'm quite interested to find out exactly what this is, and I think that I'm going to recommend to the governor that we prepare the other expeditions to the remaining colonies for something similar to this. So, uh, any knowledge that we can gain here can prepare them for encountering future infections amongst the other colonies. Um, I guess my concern is that this is an isolated incident, and but there is a possibility of other unexpected infections such as this being encountered uh, at various other colonies, and we basically may be going on a wild goose chase right now.
Well, yes, doctor. I think that is wise to approach the situation. You can never be too careful. Uh, we almost had a significant blunder, and Lord knows, and I do a sweeping motion toward the bodies that are contained inside the capsules. Um, should they have infected the colony on a larger scale, and if I wouldn't taken the measures of quarantine like I did, it could have been dreadful, pandemic in effect. So we do
Yes.
not need to jeopardize the colony here. I think it is wise that if indeed there are um, organisms in the further reaches that have disabled some of these colonies and why we've lost contact, uh, it would be wise to get a handle on that and be prepared to our next visit. And then I kind of look at her and say, "Where would you like me to help? Um, is there anything
Well,
you need to know from me?"
I, if everything is in your reports is comprehensive, I don't think I need any of your further assistance. I would certainly appreciate it, but I commend your protocols and your the measures that you take to ensure that quarantine was maintained. They were quite exemplary and very ingenious in some situations.
I kind
But
of give her a quaint little smile as she's talking.
I simply hope that the other three expeditionary forces have someone quite as thorough and resilient as you.
My eyes have been. I'm sort of distracted. I'm listening to her and doing a little smile, but I've been looking around this whole time at the lab techs that are milling around us and coming up. I'm trying to see that individual that pocketed the samples.
They don't seem to be there.
Okay,
You're,
and
there several people, have come in to assist with various areas of tests and microscopic um, evaluations, and that person that you saw took that sample seems to have left the lab.
yeah, and when I saw it pocketed it, now I'm looking. I believe that when I rolled before in the other session, I was looking for some kind of identifier to see where her allegiances lay. You know,
Yes,
just,
yes.
and
So
I can't remember that information exactly.
yes. So the clue was that you heard the woman speaking prior to when they took these additional samples, and they had an accent that was very similar to Ozalinsky's, implying that she was from the same UPP planet as Ozalinsky was.
Okay, I'm looking at the doctor. You know, as my eyes search over if doesn't and do not find what I'm looking for, which is
Mhm.
also gives me a moment to look at her eh, uh, in the face after she gives me the comment of approval, and I say, Doctor, I believe I have need to speak with you more in private. And I kind of look around. Is there uh, a place we can talk just for a moment? I know
Of course,
you're a busy
uh, of
woman, but
of course, I have an office just around the corner.
okay. I nod to her and then follow her
All right,
lead.
yes, the two. She escorts you out of the lab and down a short hall into an office. You see a name plaque outside, um,
Okay.
designating
Um,
her as the owner.
okay. I suppose she gestures me in. I go in and after she sits down, I'll take a seat. And I'm looking a little bit nervous, and I say, I don't. It seems that with all the disarray and clamor and commotion that happened before we were able to uh, disembark from the ship and come fully aboard. Um, I don't know the political uh, climate here, or if there are opposing forces that would seek to undermine the stability of this colony, but I trust you, man. And as we came aboard, I saw it was one or two individuals take, and I'll look both ways. It seems that they pocketed some of the samples. Uh,
And you see, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
no, no, no. I just say I think I have an account of how many samples there should be, and I don't want to make any unvalidated uh, accusations. But if you can count those samples, and if indeed there are missing, I believe I can uh, give you some information about who that individual might be.
And you see her eyes perk up as you say this, and a look of concern comes over her face, and she says, uh, "Yes, absolutely. We can't have any information on this situation leak out without our, you know, conclusions as to the severity and dangerousness of this. Yes, let's go count the samples and see if there are some that are unaccounted for.
And when she says leak out, I kind of say are. Yeah. Um, literally are, I mean, figuratively are literally, as far as this very dangerous contaminant. Anyway, I follow up. It's
All
time to go
right.
follow her.
Yes. So the two of you go out and speak with several people and take an accounting of all of the samples that have been taken and are accounted for. And you come to the conclusion that there is an additional sample that is seems to be missing.
Okay.
Uh,
As I have this, you know, little awareness, that I'll breathe and say it is as I suspected, as I feared, indeed. And then I'll stop and pause and kind of look up from the table. Individual, she had a peculiar accent that one of our
let's
crewmates.
let's go through let's go through my roster of scientists and I have uh, I have pictures. I'm sure you'll be able to identify what she looks like. And as you sit down with Alia and start going through all of the scientists, you come to realize that the scientist that you saw took the sample, uh, her name is Roxana Borisova.
Why does it seem familiar?
Hmm.
Um, as she's going through the slides, I'll stop and place my finger, um, yeah, on the picture, and her. She s- she spoke with peculiar accent that I recognize from in contact with one of our crew members. And then I'll relay. Uh, and she's indeed, is she from the U? What is it? UPP?
UPP, yes. You can
Yeah.
see her recruitment originated from the UPP, and you can see that on her profile that Alia showed you that included her picture.
Yeah. All the facts seem to point in that direction.
And Alia
And as
immediate. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm just going to say, as I said, I don't know the climate currently, but that is
Well,
the evidence, and I do follow where they lead.
as you can imagine, the climate is quite tense. And we did believe that it was isolated to the military arm, but uh, if he has influence in the science wing, I think I need to inform the governor immediately. If you would excuse me, I'm going to contact the governor and I will inform her that you provided me with this information. We will try to locate uh, Dr. Uh, we will try to locate Dr. Borisova and prevent her from doing anything untowards with her sample.
Okay. Give her a knowing look, and I say, I shall be here to aid your team as needed. And then I said, but first I must make a call to my shipmates to let them know my situation.
All right.
Can you remind me if did you saw multiple people involved? Is that right, Dr. Bertram?
No, there was
No,
multiple people around. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
but only
yeah.
Okay.
one
Just
person involved.
Okay. So
and
you just saw a sample being taken inappropriately.
well, yeah. But this is what I was about to relay to you. After she left, I said I needed to call my crewmate
Okay. Yeah,
Yoko is how
just
my things
checking.
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll pull you up on the comms. I know you're planet side now, right? Can I still reach him?
Yes.
Okay, I'll find a little alcove on the side and relay all this information to you because I know that once I find out you're on planet side, it's going to be more pertinent to you and about who she's about to call and what's going on.
Okay, so Yoko answers Dr. Bircher and says, "Well, what happened to the symbol that Roxana took?"
That I do not know. They're trying to find her as in this moment.
Well, if she's still there, then I think the operative thing to do is to make sure that she still has it, or to know if she handed it off to someone else.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do a full body cavity search to ascertain,
Well,
to ascertain, where it is if they have to. But I just needed you to know that there's a call being made down at the colony, and if you're going there, I have no clue on what ship you departed.
Well, from where I'm standing, Dr. Bircher, it seems like an obvious attempt by Ozelinski to, well, not obvious, but obvious now that we know what's going on.
Yes.
To try to gain a tactical military advantage by, scooping up this alien technology. We just have to hope that he's not planning on developing any kind of biological weapons, because that would be.
Well, don't let fear, rule you right now. See if we can't make any assertions until you gather some information. So
I'm finding out where
what's
Ozelinsky. I'm trying to find out where Ozelinski's holed up, and maybe we can find out.
If I can send this picture to her, if he hadn't seen her, you know what I mean, from the slide or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, you certainly can. Yep.
Yeah, I'll forward my all pertinent information about her from up here that I can to him, to his database, where he can go off of that.
If you can, try to monitor her. I mean, I imagine. Who's in charge of the Ileana?
I'm going to say that there is. I'm gonna have to make up somebody. Hold on one second.
Admiral, or is there a title at least?
It would definitely be. It would be a captain.
Captain. All right. Well, so I'll say I'm sure the captain has some means to track Roxana, and I'm sure the captain's already gonna.
Captain Luca Young is.
Luca Young. Yeah, I'm sure Captain Luca has some way to monitor Roxana's activity and make sure she's not in contact with the UPP, or if she is, at least we would know about it. My guess, if she's trying to steal valuable research material, is that she is in direct communication with either General Ozelinski himself or someone who's helping to organize this military coup.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that's what I tell Bircher, and then I'll tell Bircher also that, hey, I'm trying to pin down exactly where the UPP is holed up, so that and I'll say this, I'll kind of lower my voice to make it clear that I'm, telling Bircher something that I wouldn't tell everyone. I'll say, it is possible I might be able to get an audience with Ozelinski if I proclaim loyalty to the UPP over the Muller colony. Although, just to be clear with you, that would never be my intention. I believe in the ambitions of the Mother colony and its ideals.
I trust you.
All right.
Yeah, go. Which I do. He's,
All right. Dude, I need you to make a manipulation roll to see if they believe you.
Right, it's not
Uh,
like
I'm kidding.
yeah.
All right. All right. So let's cut over to Tip
Mhm.
and find out what he has discovered about this black box.
Okay.
So, uh, as you are taking this thing apart, you can see that it certainly is designed to intercept all communiques that are coming from the bridge to the comm array. Uh, as you are taking it apart, you realize that you recognize a significant number of the major pieces inside of this as being part of the comm array from another Magellan class exploratory vessel. So
So
it's,
same class as our ship.
yes. So that would lead you to believe that it has been pieced together from another one of the three ships that have gone out on the scientific, uh, you know,
Yeah.
e- expeditions to other colonies.
Okay. So there's 3 other ships out there.
No, I just realized there
Yes.
was a question. So when we left, two ships went, right? Or one?
Only
Like,
two ships went last
that's
time.
right. That's right.
One of them was pillaged for EVA suits because yours you had some that were missing, uh, and they were taken from one of the two remaining ships.
Okay, so then my question is, when we redocked, like when we came back, when we returned from our trip to the Gorham colony,
Mhm.
were all 4 ships there, or was it 3? Or
You
was it
you are
2?
the only you are the only ship that is there right
The
now.
only one. Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't know that. Oh boy.
Oh.
So the other three Magellan class vessels are missing, or at least
Yes.
we didn't learn what happened
Are
to the other 2. One is
Well, I
presumably
mean,
still on the mission potentially.
just remember you've been gone for like more than 2 weeks because it's a week travel in each direction. So it's possible that they were brought up to functioning capacity while you were gone and then left for their own colony missions.
Yeah, maybe even plausible. That seems reasonable. Just wanted to make sure. So none of the other research. Do we know where they went?
You don't have access to all of the missions of the other,
Do we
but
know
I
where the
mean, you could
first one
try to
went?
figure it out.
The first one, the one that left at the same time as us. Do we know that they went to a particular colony?
You don't know what colony they went
Oh.
to, but you know that it was the UNCSS Typhoon that stayed behind, or that did not stay behind, that left the same time you did.
Typhoon.
So if you remember, you were given a block of colonies to investigate,
Yes.
and it was really up to uh, the members of the team to decide how they tackle those particular colonies.
Okay, so the
So
way it was delegated was that each Magellan class ship had a block to choose how they wanted to tackle it. Is that right?
exactly, yeah.
Okay, so they're non-overlapping. So any place that the Typhoon might have gone would have been not the same places that we might have gone.
That's correct.
Okay, great, super. And then we don't know anything about the other 2 because we haven't asked the, what's their name again? Captain Chemo? Captain Kira?
Yep.
No, what was the name?
The Ilyanla,
Yeah.
or that was Luca Young.
Luca, that's the word.
Yes.
Okay, so Luca, we haven't asked Luca, but Luca would probably tell us where the other ships went if we asked them.
So it If you're
Hopefully.
curious, the names of the other two ships, if you think
Yeah.
the Ilyanla is difficult to pronounce,
no.
I'm going to post these.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you.
I'm gonna put it in
actually, one of them is the first one isn't too bad. Shimada no Kami.
Boy.
I'm going to say is the second one, and then the Unsindi Isi. I'm probably butchering that. I don't know.
I'm
That
gonna
was
try to
good.
put it in.
Synthesis.
There we go.
I'm just getting used to Ilyanla.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't throw any more
So,
curveballs.
but I mean, it seems
Shimada
like
no Kama. No, Shimada
Shimada
no
no
Kami.
No,
Kami.
That one seems easier.
Make it like a high. Yeah.
Meka leka hai, meka hai ni ho.
Okay, so
and that's
we
the other
don't
ones. I
know-
mean, obviously these came from different cultures
Mhm.
because
Wait a minute.
the
Wait.
US is a Solovetsky island. So
Asian, African, European, and I don't know what typhoon is. Where's typhoon?
Typhoon.
English, I assume. I don't know.
Is it like
I'm
Greek?
not sure.
Greek, maybe?
Maybe.
Typho?
Sure.
Typhus?
What?
Maybe.
Typhoons are like what they call hurricanes in the Pacific, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's from
So-
California.
But maybe that came
I-
from. No, but maybe that
I
came
don't-
from like a
I know, it
Southeast
could be
Asian country or
Polynesian.
something.
Sure. Yeah.
And the etymology. Etymology is about bugs, isn't it?
Okay, sorry, I got distracted.
Whatever.
I was just trying to. So that's interesting because I didn't realize that we were the only ship that returned. So when we were back,
Right.
it was only the Solovetsky Island docked with the Ilania. Got it.
Mhm.
Yes.
All
All right. So
yeah.
so I was explaining to Todd that Kip had determined that, these pieces, now it's possible that these are, there's probably, you're aware of the fact that there's probably spare parts that are somewhere either on the Ilyanla itself or down on the mother colony. But someone designed this specifically to be put on one of these Magellan class.
Okay.
Uh,
It wasn't like a universal kind of thing where it could go
exactly.
on any ship. It was specifically built to go on a
Yes.
Magellan class ship. Okay, to interface
Yes.
with one. Not alien.
Yes,
Yeah.
it is not alien. It is human created. Now you realize it should. I mean, you can, if proper accounting was taken of spare parts, it's possible you might be able to determine if some are missing.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
But the obvious thing would be checking the other Magellan class ships as they come back if they were missing parts and had repairs done with their comms array.
Oh. Okay, so there wouldn't be a database of parts on those ships. You know what I mean?
No,
Like,
There is, but you wouldn't know if it was intact.
Yeah, so all of the spare part. I mean, you can find records and like accounting for spare parts and fixes
Mhm.
on the Ilyanla that may have taken place there, but until you physically inspect the Magellan class things, you won't be able to determine whether or not anything was taken out of there and used to create this device. Do you understand the distinction in what I'm saying?
No. Okay, listen. Okay. So
Okay.
So even
so
before
I
we
can
left,
tell. I can tell that this was taken off of Magellan class ship. Yes.
Or used with the spare parts for a Magellan class ship.
Okay, so there might be serial numbers on it. There might be part numbers, but I don't have access to any records that would tell me that this specific part with this specific serial number on it was once installed on the Typhoon.
Serial number. I see what you're saying. Yeah, serial numbers should
Right,
do it
yes.
if there
So-
are good serial number tracking.
Yeah, so you can determine if there were repairs done while you were gone that maybe these somehow somebody got these parts out of it.
Mhm.
Whether parts were stolen, like spare parts were stolen from the engineering team,
Mhm.
or whether or not the parts that you can identify with tags on them actually should be inside of one of these other 3 ships. You can do that right now.
Okay.
But until one of these ships comes back, you can't physically inspect as to whether anything inside of their comm array has been recently changed without them being there. So what I'm
Right.
saying is they
Right,
could have
right.
doctored things.
Yeah, you
But-
can't necessarily trust
yeah.
what they're saying. Their records might be wrong,
Right.
might be fudged.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, and then again, how would I get access to their ship?
That's
Yeah,
That's
they're
a-
not even here. The ship's not even here.
a PC. That's a PC thing to do.
No, I know. I was just, but I mean, from my character's point of view, so how the hell would I
Right.
get onto
Exactly.
one of their ships
But
and
so
be
one
able
thing
to
that
investigate such a thing? You know?
one thing that we know is that before we left, our ship was tampered with in multiple ways. Our EVA suits were stolen, and our comms array was modified. So,
And your food was tampered with.
oh yeah, the food was
And-
tampered with.
And Dudge's daughter saw people coming into your ship and leaving.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
So you know somebody was on your ship. So who knows who was on the other ships?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, out of character, my primary concern would be hopefully the other ship's comms arrays are working properly and didn't have parts stolen from them, because they're going to be on mission and they probably want to communicate with everyone.
All right.
We'll know about that soon. Whenever they get back, we'll know if they
All right.
oh, we got back and our comms array doesn't work.
Oh, that's another question I had. None
Sure.
of these ships are like behind schedule or
That's a good
missing.
question. That's a good thing to check.
The ships themselves are behind.
Why don't you check on the ships? Yeah. That's a good. idea.
I see what you're saying. Okay, you want to find out if any of these ships should have either checked in or returned from their
Yes.
colony expedition.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So I'm going to say that we'll use this to take up the rest of your time. You managed to track down the captain, Captain Young, and you find out that the Typhoon is what the earliest they would be expected to return was 5 days ago. But there, no concern there won't be any concern unless they don't return within the next week.
Okay.
The Umsindisi and the Chimato no Kami are not expected to return for at least another 2 weeks, because they only left a week ago.
Okay.
Was there any turmoil at the time of their departure?
There was no active violence, but there was a lot of arguments breaking out, and small scuffles and stuff like that in the halls and in the main cafeteria and that sort of thing. But the governor thought it would be controlled until the actual fighting broke out. So that fighting had only started 4 days ago.
Okay.
I got a question. I can't remember. And maybe I can't see it on here, but what is my affiliation like? Am I UPP or?
I
remember.
think you are a 3 World Empire. I think, or is Dell is Dr. Bircher 3 World Empire, or I know one of you is.
I know we're all different.
Let me
I know I'm the
check.
only UPP.
Description.
3WE.
New World Order.
Description's
Why don't I
blank,
remember this? Yeah.
but
I don't think we recorded this everywhere. Yeah, so you guys can decide right now whether or not. I mean, there's
Okay.
there's only really three options. There you can be part of the UN, which includes Earth,
Mhm.
I think
or
that's
you can be Three World Empire, uh,
And remind
or
me,
you
who
can
are
be
they again?
UPP. The Three World Empire is essentially so. It really comes down to like the traditional uh, like Cold War breakup. So the UN is America and North America and Canada and most of Europe. The UPP are the communist countries, and the Three
Okay.
World Empire is everybody else. So
Everybody
that
else.
includes South America. That
Okay.
includes large parts of Africa.
Right.
I'd have to go back into the book and see where most
Okay.
of the other ones are.
Okay.
So essentially, just to give you an idea, essentially, you know, traveling outside of our solar system became available to everybody, and
Mhm.
some countries later than others, and they just sent people off and just started colonizing wherever they could go. And these affiliations are kind of tied back to the countries that they came from on Earth.
Okay. All right. Um. So, okay. So the uprising with the UPP within the UPP, caused by this guy, or led by this Norland. What is it they're actually looking for again? What's he trying
Uh,
to change?
you don't know. You have no.
Oh,
You
okay. We
don't
don't know.
really know. You just showed up, and I mean, that like a war has broken out between the UPP and the UN worlds,
Right.
a fighting like a shooting war.
Right.
Uh, but you don't know what that's about, and you don't know what the general is trying to accomplish by uh, taking control of the mother colony.
Okay.
My understanding is that there's a war back home, and here on the
Yes.
mother colony and in the Spinward colonies, uh, General Ozelinski has taken it upon himself for maybe his own motivation or maybe on orders from home to control the resources of the mother colonies, given the turmoil back home. That's my understanding. That sound right? Or whether or not it's right, it doesn't matter. I guess that's.
Okay.
That's speculation, but I mean that is legitimate speculation based off of the information that you have.
Okay. I'll just say I'm a UN man.
Okay.
yeah,
UN
same.
man.
So if you want to go back and look at the galaxy map real quick,
Yeah.
you can see
Ooh.
that the UPP or the red have the
Oh,
red
okay.
systems.
I got
Three World
it.
Empire. Oh, I'm sorry. There's also the independent core systems.
Oh,
I
those guys.
apologize.
Yes.
Those are primarily corporations that
Oh,
that
Three
went off on
World.
their own rather
Right.
than
Yeah,
you
okay.
know.
Yes, I'm so sorry. I have to run and put Sam to bed.
Sure, that's
It
fine.
is
No
it is
problem.
All
it
right,
is 8:30. Okay, I will be right
all right.
back. Okay, hold that
Okay,
thought.
we will.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
we're
So
gonna
go
move
on.
on to
Yes.
to Yoko. We already did Dr. Bridger. All right. So Yoko is in the governor's office and is
Poking around.
is poking around, trying to get information out of people that are busy
Yep.
clacking away on keyboards
Trying
or
to
filling out
control a
paperwork.
war.
Yes. Uh, so I'm not gonna because you're gonna have to get like bits and pieces of information.
Yeah,
We're not gonna
that's
role
fine.
play
Yeah,
any
yeah,
of
yeah,
those
yeah, yeah, yeah.
specific
All good.
interactions.
All good.
But I'm gonna give you some basic information you're gonna gather, and then we can role play something specific that you're like someone that you're gonna go to, whether it's the governor or somebody else.
So just to be clear, I'm looking at this map now. The mother colony is like an indoor, environmentally controlled habitat.
I mean,
Is this indoor?
essentially,
It's all
yes.
indoor, right? Like, or is
Y- yes, yeah. I mean, there's like corridors and hallways that lead to various, various sections. There is like a living area, which is kind of the vast majority of the ground level is
but this is
all.
like a million people,
Um,
right? You said, is that right? A
uh,
million or 100,000?
I meant to look this up. It's in the scale of hundreds of thousands, if
Okay,
not.
100,000.
I'll
Yeah. That sounds
apologize.
right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I meant to look up the exact number.
No problem. I just wanted to understand what's happening here. So the colony is not like a city. It's an indoor city where it's all connected and air controlled, or in
Yes,
atmosphere controlled.
yes.
Cool. So
All
we're in the
right.
governor's office. Where's the governor's office?
The governor's office is on the office level. We'll say that it is the control center,
Okay.
number 8 on here. So that is up
Here.
here in the north.
Okay.
All
cool.
right. So the general information that that you got from out of all of this stuff, or like out of all of these interactions, is that the the general has basically taken control of about a third of the ground level on the east side. So he has access to the parking area. He's taken over the various shops and everything in the 10 area. And then he also has the bars and food stalls section. Most of the fighting has taken place in the shopping plaza, which is in 7, and some of the soldiers had tried to utilize the back streets to come at him from the north, but that has proven unsuccessful because of how tight the quarters are for the fighting.
Oh,
Cool.
what's this? What's this? Where are we?
This is the map of the mother colony.
Oh, okay.
Where Yoko is.
Yeah, we learned it's a big indoor like city basically, or like
Complex,
a
Yeah, so
cool.
basically, they had like all of these rooms and compartments that they manufactured on the Ilyanua and then brought down and like stacked next to each other and then eventually on top of and everything.
Oh, cool.
And that's what was taking place over the year or two that it took between your arrival in the Spinward colony area and the actual establishing of the mother colony.
Okay, that's cool.
All
Cool,
right.
okay.
So basically, I don't know if you heard this, Todd, but basically the eastern half of the ground level is where the general has control.
Say that again. Sorry. Say that again.
The eastern half of the ground level is where the general has control. Okay.
Okay, I see.
So the main concern that the governor has is that he's controlled both part of the food supply and access onto or like out of the mother colony and onto the planet itself, which is controlled through the back alley / parking area. So this up here is where, yes, right up there is how you get out of the quote unquote building and onto the planet itself.
You can't get out anywhere else.
Okay, so how did I get in?
Well, I mean, you came down on a drop ship from the third floor of the security level.
Okay, so the
And-
dropships come in
and-
on the third floor, but the ground, like if
Yes.
you want to go out onto the planet, you have to leave through that door.
Exactly.
Got it. So everyone's basically trapped unless they leave planet or like get into a ship.
That's correct. So
Cool.
that is the main concern. That and the food supply.
Yeah.
Uh,
Is there any other like that's all the restaurants and stuff, right? That's like the whole commercial area, basically. It seems like, yeah.
I mean that's where the majority of the people get their food. There is the mess hall on the office floor, but that is basically where the administrative area is. That's in the bottom, the southwestern corner. That is where the fighting took place, and that's where the big speech was. Where the governor told you that the fighting war started
Oh, I
between
thought
the
that was
UPP
I thought
and
that
the
was
UN.
Eliania.
No, that was down. No, that was down here. The governor wouldn't be up on the Ilion.
Oh, cool.
That was down here. Yep,
Okay, so this is where the general stood on the table.
exactly.
Cool.
So so basically, the the guards, the administrative people, all of that have their own food source, but the working folk, the blue collar people, don't have access to all of their food because there's fighting going around the majority of the areas that the governor or the general does not control, and then the general does control where all of the other food is generally sold.
Got it. Okay, so that's what I learned. I learned all that. That sounds good.
Okay.
All right, so what do you want to do with that information?
I mean, 100% I'll relay it to Kip, Windows and the other guy, Bircher. So we can assume that I conveyed exactly that information. Is that fair?
Sure.
I don't know how free they are to take phone calls, but I mean, I guess I'll just... I'll send them a text message.
There's a what do you call it? A speakerphone on Kip's desk, and you specifically talk to Dr. Bircher. So yeah, I would say you can communicate with him.
My other question is like, how is it going? like, is this like pretty stable right now? Like, yeah, like there's fighting in 7 and 5, but in the back streets and in the shopping plaza, but like, is it pretty much at a standstill right now, or is either side gaining ground? That's what...
It is pretty much a standstill. The governor is some of the higher ups in the security think that she needs to apply more force and send more soldiers with heavier weaponry down there, but she is reluctant to do that because she thinks that could break the delicate peace that is that still exists everywhere else in the colony. Like, if they just start gunning down everyone in the general's controlled area, that she's going to lose control of the entire colony.
Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know. I'm not a military tactician here.
Okay.
I'm just a farmer. I'm not a farmer. I'm a botanist.
I'm a botanist, not a soldier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it, Jim. I'm putting you in this situation, but I mean, it is certainly not your responsibility to resolve.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just I don't think.
If you want to navigate it, you can.
Okay, here's the thing. Okay, like our ship is supposed to like go out and check the other colonies, right? We got a list of colonies to go check.
Yep.
Right? Okay, so isn't that what we should be doing? I mean, there's people here who are here to, fight this uprising. What's that got to do with our mission?
That is for you to decide.
You know what I mean? So it's like that's what's our stake? Well, I guess that's the thing. What is our stake in this situation? Right?
So
we have a mission.
I have stakes as Yoko, so I have multiple stakes. As Yoko, I am former UPP, or like that is my ideal. I don't agree with what the general is doing because I want the resources to be public for all, and I feel like that's the best way because I believe in the UPP ideals. I'm gonna mute Dell for a bit. Sorry. Okay, I muted Dell so that audio is not coming in the recording. Okay, so that's what Yoko is thinking. Yoko cares about the ideals of the mother colony. I think that's the key motivation for Yoko. So I don't know if I need the governor's audience specifically, but I do want to know, like, if Yoko gets a sense that, like, hey, this is happening, but it's not like the end of the world, and the mother colony is gonna, like, handle it. It might be bloody and messy, but it'll be handled. Then Yoko can focus on the scientific mission at hand, which is not scientific, but the recon mission for the colonies, because that matters. But if this is like, hey, the mother colony will not succeed if this isn't addressed immediately, then Yoko will jump into that fray. I'm also not opposed to Yoko like going into this whole situation wholeheartedly and like getting all involved in the war, and another character going on a colony mission. I don't know if that makes sense, but so that's where Yoko is. Yoko cares about the mother colony, cares about the mission of the mother colony, does not agree with the general and how he's trying to enforce the UPP's ideals. And that's where Yoko is. But,
I got you. Okay. So yeah. Well, let me just clarify something. Is you are not under the impression that the governor does not have control of the situation to a certain extent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you think that whatever the general is doing, he's probably not going to succeed in taking control of this entire place.
Okay, but also I am acutely aware of other covert things Sorry.
Dune, if you do want to come up with a new character, I mean, there's hundreds of thousands of people on here, so we can come up with any character that you want. That's perfectly fine. But if you want to, if the group wants to interact with this and gain more information before they go out to another colony, that's up. That's up to the PC for you guys to decide for the PCs. But I mean, you have a list of places to go. You could prep your ship and just go and hope that this works out for the best. I mean, that's not a ridiculous premise either.
Well, just from Windows' point of view, okay, he doesn't know, he doesn't care about UPP politics or anything like that, right? He's got a contract. He signed a contract, He's got a job to do. Right? What? I'm gonna go down there and save the day on some uprising or whatever. I mean, that's not what I'm paid for, okay? So that's where he's coming from, right? Like, why don't we just? I mean, unless you can compel me somehow, Yoko, I mean, you are my Oh no, you're my rival. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Smarty pants scientist, right? So I mean, unless you can give me some good reason to give a damn, about what's going on here, because the looks like the authorities got things under control here. They don't need a roughneck like me coming down and swinging in to save the day. I'm not a counter revolutionary or whatever. I don't know what's going on here. You know.
Yeah, I mean, so Windows. I mean, I guess we're talking to each other, but Windows. The way I see it right now is UPP's outnumbered. They definitely have better training, being the military, but there's so few of them that they're just holding on to what they can. Um, but so there's two things. Basically, we know that my impression is that the governor has things under control as far as the fighting goes, but we do know that what we can assume, and I'll just Yoko says this to Windows, we can assume that General Zelensky has other things in the works, given what Dr. Bircher told us. There's other ways in which Zelensky's trying to gain an advantage rather than just fighting in the shopping district.
Okay, so he's
yeah.
willing to maybe use this alien stuff.
It seems to be like, I don't know what I mean. Zelensky's probably trying. My guess is Zelensky's trying to get a hold of any advantage he can, wherever it comes from, and I don't know. So interestingly, if
they find that girl and lock her down, the one who took the sample.
I think that's prudent. Windows. I mean, we're on a conference call now. Or sorry, Dr. Bircher. Yeah, Dr. Bircher. Why don't you make sure that the Captain Luca takes Rebecca into custody and does not allow Rebecca to hand off that sample to anyone else, or or alternatively, you could try to tail Rebecca and see who she's trying to handle it off to. That would be the more advanced.
That's in the works as far as her sending the call out. They should be able to isolate her identity and her location and lock her down, and then, like I said, do the search. But I need to work with them immediately to see if they can isolate what this virus is, and maybe produce an antivirus or
I see.
or what have you before we even go out to another colony and get the infection. Like I said, this might be what has infected all these colonies, causing them to drop off. We're going out there to make some contact and probably rescue people now.
The more we can learn, the better. I agree, Dr. Bircher.
But I mean, I would say if I heard that, like, the UN is already in the know of what the UPP may be up to, they can handle it, I believe. So we're kind of extra, but we need to make sure that whether we go out to rescue the other colonies or to find out what's going on, we can't. I mean, we can do it, but I would just like to hear, like, what happens if they find the girl and isolate the sample she took.
Here's my question for you, Dr. Bircher.
Yeah.
If we arrive at one of the other colonies on our list, and they have also been afflicted with whatever it is that affected Gorham, or at least it affected Dudge, which we know didn't come from Gorham. But if that's there in the colonies that we visit in the future, will we be able to do anything, or is that just an exposure hazard for us?
Oh, it would definitely be. Well, that's what I was wanting, at least some kind of, to know what we're facing, to be able to be better prepared, either with suits or these contamination devices that we've created, to see if the contamination is in the air and anywhere we go.
Absolutely. Dr. Bircher, you need to get us into a state where we can actually visit a colony that may potentially be infected by whatever this is that you're examining, and once that's the case, we should go. I'm not a trained combatant or a military person. I've never served in the military. I don't know how to handle a weapon, so I'm not.
But obviously, we've given them information on the ships that were there and that have attacked, and they probably already know who might be doing this. So maybe that could be an avenue of approach for y'all to find out if they know whose individuals this may be. You know, with the black box, with the potential sabotage of the ship, with the food and taking away that.
What
This
I
should be
would
in a column.
what I would think is Windows. If you could figure out, is there any way to trace back the black box to see if it's UPP?
Serial number?
No, not really. I mean, you
No.
can figure out. I mean, you theoretically, it might be possible to figure out who acquired the pieces from. If they came from, uh, spare parts and stuff. You know, someone who's really stupid might have put their name down when they, signed them out. But that's pretty. I mean, that would be the only way you could find out the affiliation of the person responsible.
Okay, I imagine there's some kind of standing order for our ship and our crew to take off for the next mission. Is that the case?
Uh, I mean, you haven't heard anything. I mean, the expectation at this point would be to turn in some sort of report.
Oh, right.
The assistant of the governor, who is a synthetic that goes by the name Gaius, he's the one that contacted you when you went off and gave you your mission briefing, but you have not heard from him once you arrived. Um, you probably chalked it up to the situation going on, but
Yeah.
uh,
Baltar? Is his name Baltar? Okay.
Hey,
that's
there we
his
go.
last.
There's that alien,
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica thing going on. Just saying.
We also don't need to be. I don't know about the Solovetsky Island, but what is this weaponry? Because we can't be attacked by either another TIE
Oh,
fighter,
that's true.
You're
That's
right.
true.
Viper, or
Your weaponry is virtually zero.
yeah.
But okay, so what we did, so here's the key. We witnessed that fighter attack the Ilanya. Do we believe that the whatever damage the Ilanya suffered would be enough to take down the Solovets Galley? That's my question.
One of them would take a very long time to take down the Solovetsky Island. If there was multiples, it would be quite possible, and you would.
Sitting duck?
There's not a whole lot you would be able to do about it because the Ilyanla was barely capable of fighting that thing off.
Would the
because they're so agile.
We have 2 escape ships. Would they have any chance of making it down to a planet if we were attacked by those fighters?
Oh yeah, of course. I mean, assuming that they're not bloodthirsty and go after the escape pods, but but remember the thing that Kip realized was that these things are not capable of faster than light travel.
Oh, that's right. But the Solovets Gallon is, so that's good.
Yes.
Okay. My thinking out of character is that we probably do want to go on another colony mission. But we do.
It would be. I. You know what? I think I agree with you though. The reason is because if we go out for 2 or 3 weeks on a mission, we come back, and we might, we'll see what the state of the affairs is, right? And maybe it's gotten worse for the colony, or maybe they've defeated this general, right?
Yeah.
But I mean,
or maybe everybody has a face hugger on them. Who knows?
Or maybe.
Yeah. But if we go out to a colony, we need to pick one that might be more friendly to the situation instead of potentially where these pirates are based at. Or coming. Well, I mean,
yeah, but I also feel like we have a lot of things that we need to do before we can leave.
Yeah.
Work.
So we can decide, we can decide as a group, if you want to kind of fast track to the next colony.
Yeah.
We need to make a few decisions what you're going to do with your report. We'll have like a quick couple scenes, probably with the governor or Gaius, where you decide your next mission. And some discussions are happening. If we want to say you wait long enough for the science team to come up with some means of inoculating uh, people from the infection, that might take weeks, but we could fast track.
Yeah.
We could do that. It's up to you guys where you want to spend your time.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
Any
I'm
opinions?
okay.
I'm ready to get back out there. See what the universe has to offer us.
Yeah.
The priorities are like Yoko said. The priority is that when we get there, if people are infected, we need to make sure that we can handle that, or at least to the best of our incomplete knowledge. And then the black box. I mean, I feel like you should at least figure out what the hell it was doing before we go. We can also, on whatever ship we take back out, probably the Solovets Gallant, but whatever. Oh, I guess it would be now because there's no other ship here.
Another ship.
When we go back out, we want to just do a really thorough inspection. And now that you got that black box off, we won't have one on us, which
No, we won't. Yeah.
is good.
Yeah. But we do know what it does. It was just intercepting bridge communications, right?
That's right.
That is correct.
Right. So we know, and sending it off to whoever.
No,
Why?
it was not sending it off, was it, John?
I thought it was you transmitting it.
It was the black box was recording this.
Oh, okay.
It did not seem to have any means of sending it back off, which implies that
Someone would manually
someone was going to come back and get it.
Oh,
okay. So now I think we need a fake black box.
Okay.
Can we fake it?
Oh,
can you
well,
can you replicate it?
I could take the guts out of it, right? Because if they have to come back and interface with it, right? Then we could actually set a booby trap.
Send a virus or like a hacking program into whatever it is that's that we can. I like that.
Something like that, or something deadly, or whatever. Like
deadly, the bomb.
I'm not above that.
For what? For putting something on the ship? They didn't. What if it's a child?
What? It's no child put that on the ship.
Teenager.
Anyways, yeah, like our okay. There was now. I don't know if I'm remembering this right, but there was somebody on the ship, right?
Oh, that's true. We do know that. We
Okay.
have video evidence, I think,
Would
right? Video?
Would she fit in the
Yes.
box?
Or just verbal.
I don't know.
You
Put the cat.
you actually saw video recording of people moving around in with EVA suits on the ship itself.
Mm-hmm.
They were not the EVA suits that were missing. They were an entirely different design.
Where the hell they come from, right?
Well, you kind of through Kip realized that they probably landed on the ship
On the
outside
side, yeah.
and came in through a separate airlock.
Mm-hmm.
You had established that was most likely.
So there's something there too.
Would we know if they took the EVA suits from our ship? Like, could we see them carrying anything off of our ship? From the video?
No, you did not see anybody carrying anything off of the ship from that video.
Okay.
So
yeah.
So these people, so somebody has come onto the ship before. They probably installed that black box too, right?
Most
At some
likely, they weren't far
I
from
mean,
the
they were on the
colony
outside
where
of the
they
ship,
landed.
right?
right. So eventually, though, they're going to want to come back and
Yes. Yes.
get this information that's been recorded, right?
That might be happening now. We better get that back in there, Kip.
Yeah. So they're probably going to. Does it look like there's some sort of interface, port or anything like that they would
Yeah,
interface?
that's in fact that same port is what you like initially plugged your
Okay,
device into to take
right.
to read the logs and everything inside of it.
Right. So they don't think that we've discovered this yet, maybe, right? Because it's not transmitting anything. So we can put it back on. Maybe, yeah, like Yoko said, we can, jimmy up some sort of virus or something else. I mean, what if we did set up some sort of booby trap?
I mean,
At
so
least
that was the first thought that I had, is to do some kind of technological programming hack to get at whoever is extracting the information. But another possibility is to physically
yeah,
trap the vehicle if they use the same markings on the side of the Solovetsky Island to land on the side of the ship in order to gain access to the Solovetsky Island. We know exactly where they're going to land. I don't know if we could somehow prevent them from detaching after they land. But
right.
Is there any ready-made technology like that in Alien Universe? Probably not. It'd have to be made.
I mean, not really. Ships landing on other ships is pretty rare.
Yeah.
So that is not something that would generally be invented. But I mean,
Kip can invent
a
it. Got any
simple
ideas,
if you
Kip?
know exactly where it's going to be, a simple a small explosion might break the magnetic clamp that
Yeah.
this ship is using to connect to the Solovetsky Island. So I mean that's one possibility.
See, I think we need to detain them.
Okay,
because...
so then what we should do? Here's our plan. Here's my idea. Yoko's idea is
here he goes.
Okay, so we expect them to re-dock or to come to retrieve the black box. So we should set up an ambush so that when they show up, we can either like EMP or somehow disable their thrusters.
Right.
We can throw a bomb, shoot at their thrusters to take out the thrusters of whatever landing shuttle thing they land with us, and then they'll be stuck. Basically, they won't be able to take back off, and if they can't take back off, they're stuck on the Eliana and Solovetsky Island, which is exactly where we want them to be. So I think that we should do that before we take off for our next mission. That's what Yoko says.
Okay. I like that idea.
All right. Cool. So it sounds like we're going to spend a bit more time before the next colony.
Ambush. Trap.
We probably aren't going to get to it next session, but I'm going to repost the descriptions of the remaining 2 colonies that you have on your list.
Oh, okay.
So if you guys can take a look at that over the course of the next session and let me know which one you're interested in.
Okay.
We will address this attempt to capture the saboteurs. And then we can do whatever last minute prep and everything that is necessary before you go on your next colony mission.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Just looking at it right now.
A lot of discussions this time, but it was. I feel like we have a goal. You guys have some more information. So maybe the next session will be. Maybe we'll have our first combat. I don't think we actually had. Oh no, we had combat on the ship before you guys left with those six-legged animals
That's right.
that were attacking Kip.
Oh yeah.
But maybe we'll have some human-on-human combat. We'll see what happens.
Ooh.
I
We're
think we
talking
got.
about fighting, right?
I think we got a lot of options here.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
it
yes.
needs to be weighed, and there's a myriad of things we could do. So, as long as we just commit to even talking on Discord or whatever, like you said, get the information and pull the ripcord. You know,
Yeah,
be ready to
I
go.
mean,
Cool.
I'm happy to provide information that you guys need to make your decisions on Discord between sessions.
Okay.
But yeah, it sounds like you guys are starting to to grasp the openness of this,
Yeah, that's
oh, I
good.
like that.
and have there's some repercussions. You're
Mhm.
gone. When you go to a colony, a lot of time goes by, so a lot of things.
Well, that's good, right? I mean, the world keeps rolling along without us.
That's right.
Whether we do something or we don't do something.
Yeah, the
there's
Marino,
repercussions.
Danny Marino is gonna have like multiple parents to his children when we get back.
Indeed.
All right.
Okay, cool. That's fun.
Yeah, so keep an eye out on the One Ring channel because I might, as I'm doing my prep,
Yeah.
I'm going to be posting